concern attached to this sector. That's why it's regarded as a sunrise industry. And the establishment of food industry also leads to the development of many new ideas and knowledge that facilitates the innovation process in the industry. Thus, innovation is seen as a clear and explicit way for the entrepreneurs to increase competitiveness and create wealth as well. Therefore, the need of innovation arises. And driven by the scarce resource and the low income levels of consumer, many innovators now resort to lowest cost, local-centric idea called as frugal innovation. And Manipur, situated at the extreme corner of India, has a very difficult terrain, and it has inadequate infrastructure and various socio-economic and cultural difficulties. So Manipur became an industrially backward state. So despite the various obstacles, there are forward thinkers and innovators who brought creative solutions within its own limitation. Thus, the paper make an attempt to understand the process of frugal innovation and how it is characterized by the involvement of various actors. Briefly about the frugal innovation, I'm going into the details of. We have lots of discussion about it. For my case study, what I am taken frugal innovation is given by Vaughan and Thornton, that frugality is making better things, not just the cheaper things. Frugal innovation also extends to the service, not just the products. Frugal innovation involves remodeling of products, and frugal innovation are not low-tech, rather it's a combination of science and technology. And the second critical framework what I am using is actor network theory. Actor network theory is also known as a sociology of translation. It's a work of STS scholar Bruno Latour and sociologist John Lowe. The main methodological principle of actor network theory is there is no distinction between human and non-human actor, and all the interpretations should be unprivileged and abandon all the primary relationship. The core concept is the problematization translation, and it has a fourth stage, that is a problematization, answers the how to become indispensable, and investment answer how to allies are looked into places, and enrollment answers the question of how to define and coordinate the roles, and the last one is mobilization. So according to actor network theory, innovation and its conceptualization should be viewed as rationally predictable achievement, should not be viewed as rationally predictable achievement, but rather as a fluid and erratic translation. So in this context, we will take a case study of bamboo shoot processing in Manipur. And our research question is, what is the process of frugal innovation in bamboo shoot processing in Manipur? In particular, how agency is produced and confined, how actors are investing to stabilizing set of relationship in the process of innovation, and how is agency in human and non-human manifest in this relation. To answer this question, we have the methodology we are using is ethnography. In the traditional bamboo processing areas, we are using participant observation as well as informal interviews, and in the food processing industry, in-depth interviews with questionnaire, with workers, proprietors, and observation, as well as observation. And in the marketplaces, there is formal as well as informal interviews, and with the food technologies, we use formal interviews. The background of case study: bamboo, locally known as sorghum, as a traditional food of Manipur, evolved thousands of years ago, still indispensable for majority of people. But this freshly harvested bamboo shoot is the shelf life is short. It is only 9 and 23 days in water and brine respectively. So there is a myth of fermentation arises. So the practitioner have been practicing the fermentation process without any scientific knowledge. They gain knowledge and wisdom through experiment and based on trial and error. There is a short process of this fermentation. These bamboo shoots are collected from the nearby hills of bamboo forest. This is a bamboo shoot, and after this collection, they are cutting into the thin slices. If you can see the knife, they are using the knife is locally made. They are using only for this purpose only. And this is just a market scenario. And after the cutting, they are idea of commercialization has come, that is called monotype. They are using this bamboo basket to fulfill the demand of the mass production. Again, it takes around 5 to 8 months for the to mature this fermentation. Again, they want to speed up, so the quick method is come. There is this input type. Here they are using this plastic bottle. Here the fermentation process is taking around only 6 to 7 days. So even though with the fresh and fermented fruits are far superior in taste and texture, bamboo shoots are started available in canned form also, in pickle form. In the case of Manipur, it started with the development of Maira food processing industry, and it was incorporated in the year 2004. With many Manipuris traveling outside the state, cans of such assorted food are convenient. The development of innovative product in Maira was another instance of such frugal innovation process in food processing industry in Manipur. This is Maira food, the bamboo shoot pickle in pickle form, bamboo shoots in pickle forms, and it also acts in some way as a means to preserve the local indigenous food product by taking into different shapes, forms, taste, and functionalities. But innovation never happens in isolation. The activities are innovated by the network of different actors. How the idea of frugal innovation works in the context of the processing industry. It is the durable constraint that drives the innovation in the first place, which is the androtype of production. And in the second place, it is the availability constraint that is the mass production of innovation. And in the third place, time becomes the crucial factor for this innovation. And in the fourth place, because of the convenience, bamboo shoots in pickle form started. In the case, frugal innovation is a prime directive at every stage of bamboo shoot processing. That results in the great value, great quality, functional products that are also affordable to the consumer with modest means. However, such innovation does not explicitly discuss the linkage of diverse actors involved in the innovation process. In this regard, we are taking another case study, that is actor network perspective, to understand the network of different linkages. There are some networks in bamboo shoots. Bamboo shoot is depends upon the season. It's found only July to September. Then it is abundantly found in the 3 districts of Manipur only. And again, it is depends upon the geographical location. And because of perishable, the fermentation of bamboo shoot arises. So in the fermentation process, there are lots of actors included. This is the kind of knife the community are using. They locally call it sanai. And bamboo basket they are using, the earthen pot and the polythene sheets they are using, and the enzyme, bacteria, yeast. These are all non-human actors working in this fermentation process. And these fermented bamboo shoots are using by the food industry to make the bamboo shoot pickle. And again, the food processing industry are linked with the Ministry of Food Processing India. Ministry of Food Processing Industry India are giving the training center, training program to this food industry. And as Manipur is industrially backward stage, there is no packaging material and no machinery. So for the packaging material and machineries, they are purchased from the outside company. In that case, they are also linked with outside company. And somehow outside company are also contribute in this process. And this food industry obviously are included workers, providers, food technologies, and for the quality test, they are again linked to Manipur universities and Central Agricultural University for the quality testing lab. And after the made pickle, they are advertise this product through the successful industry and through trade fairs, and it's come to the market and class of consumer. So I somehow try to map all the actors and their network. And this is a total from Kalan. the pleasant and most wanted food product from bamboo shoot. So we saw that how these actors are aligned to become this frugal innovation success. So the analysis of the empirical case study is one of the first time of attempt to look into frugal innovation in processing industry of Manipur. Our empirical evidence suggests that frugal innovation at every stage of bamboo shoot processing evolves as a result of resource constraint that is more durable than the first one, mass production, time factor, and convenience. Thus, our research provides empirical evidence that sheds light on how frugal innovation occurs around resource constraint by the core for the core innovations. The paper also attempts to explore the linkage of various actors in the innovation process of bamboo shoots under the umbrella of actor network theory. ANT helps us to understand better the interaction of human and non-human actors in the process. This is consistent with the spirit of ANT, which seeks to open up rather than the close of arena by revisiting taken for granted ideas about human and non-human in organization and challenging the nature of linkages among them.
Maybe I would like to start by linking first the three presentations together and maybe also linking to what we've been doing yesterday and today. I think these contributions are all very valuable because they add empirical case study material to more theoretical debates. But I think even our theoretical debates we've been engaging in might be a bit extreme. We've been talking about complete frugality and complete inclusiveness, and I think we should think more along the lines of degrees of frugality and degrees of inclusiveness, and whether and when frugal innovation can challenge certain barriers to inclusivity, structures, if you want to call them that way, maybe institutional bottlenecks, whatever. Even just a little, and that doesn't have to necessarily involve a kind of full transformation of societal structures or inequalities. But I think even if a case study shows how an innovation can change certain elements or push the boundaries of barriers, I think that's useful in itself. So I really appreciated your addition of actor network theory to the debates, and in the light of that, I wanted to ask you a similar question that's been asked yesterday, like what motivates polycentric collaborations? And you gave us a nice graph, but which interests do various actors have, and how are collaborations forged practically? And then something that you highlighted in your paper, but maybe not so much in your presentation, is you do try to unpack the enabling factors of an innovation. So what kind of actors are able to execute frugal innovation? Do education and resources enable maybe frugal innovations to take place, or you don't see those kinds of differences in the different bamboo shoot processing industries you've been studying?
Answer first, or shall we collect someone? Yeah, we collect two other people.
Yeah, so I just wonder, where's the gender perspective in this study? I see a woman doing the study, I see a woman selling the stuff, I see a man cutting the stuff, and then it ends up in pots for consumption, which seems to be again end up in a kitchen where a woman may be active. But did you include that at all in your analysis, the gender perspective?
Maybe you answer right? Okay.
No.
Peter?
Yeah, my question is about the other things happening. It seems almost as if this is a product, a bamboo shoot, which is only coming out of that particular area in Manipur. and that there are no real competitors or substitute products for this. And I would be interested to see, because in many of our case studies, there is often a big story about substitutes, like with the cooking stove. I think some people are saying cooking stoves are going to be wiped out by what the Chinese are producing, for example. Is there something on the outside here that you haven't said much about? Or are we seeing here a case study of local, informal innovation processes that take their own paths and that are not really very much interrupted or influenced by things happening in the broader economy?
Did you raise your hand, Rachel?
Oh,
No, sorry. Maybe first try to answer FIFA.
I would like to answer the last one.
Start first. Okay. Go.
Actually, this bamboo sword is a traditional food, and so there is no.
Can you speak up a little bit? It's very difficult to hear you here.
Maybe if you stand, you usually have a bit more volume. That might help him to
That's
hear
too
you.
miss business school. That.
The taste is something different. This is the traditional food of Manipur. So no other food can replace this food. So people are dying to have it. So so there is no such competitor, I can say. And for the mass for demand is increasing day by day. So this mass production is the mass production is rises, the need of mass production. It's only the question of this competitor.
Yeah, so the answer is, in a way, would be yes. There are no other things happening on the outside that you haven't really told us about that influence the behavior of that network in that particular local sector.
No one influencing this local sector. They are producing in their own basic knowledge. There is no scientific machinery. You can say there is no scientific understanding. They are gaining it by trial and error. So there is no. Due to the gender, there is I didn't see from that angle, and I just see that the process of changes from how their idea is coming and from to the commercialization. So I didn't see the gender process, gender account. For your question, can I pardon?
Any other questions? Kate? Sarah, did you? Chris?
I'll just say very quickly that I didn't see the points initially of the actor network theory, but in the way that you explain it, it's clear that there's a technical dimension in these networks that we've been missing. The phones, the computers, the ability to can, the ability to make stoves. And I'm wondering if we need also a productive manufacturing dimension in thinking about these networks to raise the question, is frugal innovation dependent innovation? Because it seems that they're dependent on the canning. So I'm wondering, does the fact that they have to go outside to can it create any further innovations to try to work out how to can it or tin it within Manipur, or they're happy to remain dependent on canning it outside or bottling it outside?
What do you mean to answer? Go.
The machineries are coming from the outside company, and
Yeah, actually just to follow up on a similar point really, I actually really like the idea of using active network theory to consider some of these kind of socio-technical alignments of different things. So maybe this is more of a comment. Maybe the slight problem I have with the way you've done it is that on the first part's really interesting, but I don't think you really dig into kind of how the translation process happens, how all these different actors come together to kind of integrate in a coherent way. What are the kind of socio-political activities that happen to make it come together? So if you think of for example, this canning or this pickling industry, how that aligns with the bamboo collection, the informal actors who previously worked with that, so how these technologies come together, how these different humans and non-humans combine. So it would be interesting to see maybe more detail of some of these processes, how this food production kind of started, or how these different actors came together, and look in more detail to understand those translation processes. So I guess it's just more of a comment on how we might expand it in the future.
Okay. Thanks, I think it's interesting. You want to react? Or you?
I can take this as a
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Actually, each and every actor has their own interest. So in this paper, I just take only 4 actors and their interest. And in the next, in the coming days, I will elaborate each and every actors and their roles also.
Yeah, I don't think here it seems like they all suddenly kind of align quite easily, when I don't think that would really be the case. There'd be different compromises, changes in the actual objects, and changes in the different goals over time, and then that would slowly align into something, and then maybe that could help us understand a bit better.
Some negotiations will be made for this. So.
And we have Sarah.
Yeah, thank you. I also think that if you could strengthen this aspect of translation, it can turn out to be an interesting contribution to this debate. But my question was much linked to what Peter has also asked. Whatever little way I have seen the northeastern part of India, you have bamboo shoot in Manipur, you also have them in Nagaland and some other places. And this is also a place where a lot of in-migration and out-migration happening at the same time. So, although it's a very traditional food, but the society is in a flux also. It's not really a very static society, both from people who reside there and both for others and people who come from other places in India and do business there. So how do you incorporate that whole issue of the flux in the society to discuss this aspect of innovation? Is there any way these issues contribute to the innovative processes? Make it more mass production oriented stuff? Attracts more collaboration from other communities, ethnic groups.
Actually, the migration is the main problem for the bamboo shoots. Coming in pickle form. So the people going outside Manipur, they are missing their homemade food. So without packaging, the bamboo shoot has a smell, so that others people don't like. So it's become the main reason for this coming in pickle form for the migration.
Then something like this we wanted to know perhaps, that how elements outside that community is contributing to these innovations. And I can imagine, suppose for example, if I'm in Gujarat, the western part, and in Bengali I want to have fish, the smell of which is not liked by many in that state, I'll have to really do it in a manner where I can have my taste bud satisfied, yet not really making an issue in economy. and something like this might be an important thing to put more in terms of your analysis.
Yeah, well, it made me think of a related study that I was involved in years ago about fresh pork sausages in Vietnam, which have a shelf life of about 24 hours because it's fresh, unprocessed pork. But the Vietnamese love it. So there is a special consignment going to a flight to Paris and to London every day for expat communities.